In the words of someone famous somewhere, I think you guys know, you can probably be able to put it inside the chat. All right, all right, all right. It's time to get us all fired up. It is live. Welcome to Self Publishing with Dale. And if you're new to this channel, you want to learn how to publish and profit the right way, make sure that you click subscribe and turn on your notifications so you get all of my latest videos, including when I go on these wonderful live streams. So if you happen to be popping in here, please drop a comment. Let me know that you can hear me okay. I've got my chat popped up here on my mobile device so I can be able to at least be a little bit more on top of this. Let me know if you can hear me okay. That's going to be the first thing. What is happening in Mecca Osai? We're going to be talking about you, I'm sure, at some point or another because you're my boy. We've been jib-jabbing each other's heads off for the last 24 hours. So in any event, yes, if you happen to be tuning in, please do me a favor. Make sure you share it with people. Bring in some other DIY publishers so we can make this a sense of community. Remember, it's no fun for me to just sit here and talk to my camera by myself. Otherwise, I can just go ahead and do another video, I'm sure. So, loud and clear. Awesome. Very good. So, if I'm too loud, obviously you might want to just dial it back a little bit on your computer. I tend to be a little bit happy. Hey, what's happening? My boy Anthony's coming on in here, man. Anthony, how's it going, dude? What's good, guys? Man, I tell you what, lots are good. It's a Thursday. I always feel good at this portion of the week. I guess it's kind of a conditioned behavior for me because I spent a great majority of my life working in the healthcare industry, and a great majority of that time was spent, working for the weekend. And I think everybody can, probably relate. Most everybody can relate to that 9-to-5 job where you're like, yeah, it's going to be the weekend. You get into an entrepreneur life and you start to get yourself out of that habit of having to think, oh, I'm going to take the weekend off. But I'll be taking this weekend off. I think that my wife and I have some plans. We're going to do something. Either we're going to go see my boy Jason Brock over in his neck of the woods up in Indiana, or we're going to probably go see a comic book festival, I think, or comic book or cartoon festival that's going to be here this weekend. So what's happening? Kim here. Hi, driving, but I'm listening. Excellent, excellent. Please, keep your hands on the steering wheel. Focus on the road. Kim here. I was just on Kim's live stream last night. Big plug towards my pal Kim. Head over to her channel. Make sure you subscribe to her stuff. She's sassy. It's kind of like a Phil Hartman from Saturday Night Live. Sassy. Yes, get on over there. Check out Kim here. She's great. And as well, I do have to plug my boy at Mecca Osai. I'm probably going to be talking about you a little bit in some of the things that we were talking about this week. I keep looking at myself on OBS. I need to stop. Any event. So, human services professional as well. Awesome. Yeah, I was in the healthcare industry. I worked primarily as an activities director. So essentially, I was paid to play with seniors. And it's funny, when I got into this journey of self-publishing, I really had the intent of putting out a series of books for activities professionals, but it always just kind of went to the wayside. Sadly, I've let my national certification go by because I don't plan on going back into the business, but I have nothing but great things to say about my former employer, Bethesda Senior Living. They were wonderful to me. They treated me like royalty there. I loved my job, but sadly, it led me it led me away from them. And fortunately enough, it led me into this career as a self-publisher. So I think it's just a huge upgrade. Going from that job, though, to burning the boats and not having anything ready, I'll tell you what, I wouldn't recommend it to anybody unless you like ramen noodles and frozen veggies. So, any event, we're going to talk about quite a few things. Do me a favor, if you are inside the chat, if you're watching, or even if you're lurking, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up on that video and hit that share. Just share it over to Twitter, share it to Google+. Heck, I don't care, put it on Tumblr. Let's see if we can kind of get this community popping and rolling. Even if you can just get a few people in here that don't know about self-publishing. Maybe they have something within their heart and they're like, you know what, I've always wanted to write a book. I want you to introduce them to me because I think that we're going to have a wonderful relationship and start to really build a good sense of community. I can't thank enough of you right now, and especially those of you that are tuning in live and those of you even watching this on replay. Thank you very much. I really find that this was a bit of a hobby that has turned into a bit of a beast in YouTube content creation. I have a question I want to address right out the gate, and before I get to that, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the emails, the private messages, connecting with me over on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook, by the way. Look at facebook.com/author Dale Roberts, and you'll be able to find me. It'll show my crazy mug. But yeah, friend me on there, or you can even go like my like page. Either way, that's awesome. I do appreciate it. Of course, Self-Publishing with Dale. You can be able to click the like on that and follow, because here's why. I actually will be doing more behind the scenes type live Facebook chats, so you guys can see a little bit of my regular life. I'm going to be producing a video here fairly soon, kind of a day in the life video that I'm going to put on Sunday Unscripted. I've had a couple people kind of wonder, they're like, I wonder what your day is like. It's never the same, I'll say that, but there are some common elements to it. And I'm sure I'll get to that. So, Dog Dad, what's going on? Raw Dog! Yeah! My boy, Dog Dad Official. Before we get to you, Dog Dad, I'm going to be talking about you come tomorrow. But I had a good friend of mine, and he asked me a question about where I get my YouTube intro videos from and my recent change. You guys probably have seen the thumbnails are starting to change. About half of them are changed. Whew, that was tough. Getting a lot of the branding changing, and here pretty soon the green screen is actually going to be gone. You guys are going to see a little bit more of a casual atmosphere. I'm starting to really evolve this channel. I went from being almost a sketch comedy style self-publishing channel to all of a sudden I just ratcheted it down and I really got serious. I made it more family friendly because I wanted to reach a larger audience. I felt like I had a great message and a great vision that I wanted to paint out there in the world. So that's why I changed a lot of it. Some people might call it selling out, but to be honest with you, it's just being a bit more selective with how I say and present myself. Let's be honest. Doing a bunch of fart jokes are only going to get me so far. And also, I have a fitness brand. And when I sat there, I thought about it, all these different fart jokes that I was doing and putting all these sketch comedy style things and cursing a lot. It was kind of putting a little bit of a black eye on my fitness brand. And I could sense that if people aren't going to take me seriously on YouTube, then they're probably not going to take me seriously in my fitness brand. And that's not good, because to me, the reason why I launched that fitness brand was to change lives. I really wanted to make a difference in people's lives because fitness was a real game changer for me. In fact, that's one of the very loves that my wife and I share together. Make sure you guys keep on talking here. Dale, you're a god. Roger in England. Roger in England, thank you, man. I don't know that I'm a god, but I do appreciate it. I actually, big shout out to my newfound friend as well, Anka. Anka is overseas, and she was just nothing but sweet to me. Please, you guys have my email address, and if you don't have that, it's dale@selfpublishingwithdale.com. You can always send me any kind of questions you might have. Please limit it to try like 1 to 2 questions, because I have some people that just send a dozen at once. And unfortunately, you know what happens? Those type of emails, they sit in my email box until I finally just throw them out. So just be easy. Send me a question or two via email. And let's chat. I'd love to open up dialogue with you. But at any rate, my boy, one of my friends, got a hold of me, wanted to know what I do for YouTube intros. I'm going to make this very brief because honestly, it's not very relevant to self-publishing, but you can still be able to build your brand around this. So for instance, I'll just go ahead and throw him under the bus anyways. It's my boy, William May. Actually, I had interviewed him the week before last. Make sure you check out that interview, and I'll try to put that inside the description below after this goes on air. Wonderful interview. William was awesome. He is a newbie self-publisher out the gates, had himself a bestseller. He was kicking butt, taking names. And so at any rate, he wants to know, okay, where am I getting some of my stuff done at? You guys can go over, and this is not an affiliate at all. It's Nick Nemen's tubertools.com. That's tubertools.com. Go to tubertools.com. He has a couple of different packages. If you just name drop me and let him know when you contact him that you pretty much, I got a combination package. I got the channel packaging and I got the video packaging, and just let him know it's not cheap, But I'm going to tell you this, if you're serious about your YouTube channel and really trying to take your brand up to the next level, Nick's your guy. He literally probably saved me hundreds of hours of work for some of the stuff that I'm able to put inside my video intro, to animations, to the new logo, to everything. So that was awesome. But that's the long story short. I didn't want to camp out too long on that one because it's kind of ancillary to a self-publishing business, so I didn't want to go too far down the rabbit trail on that one. So tubertools.com, well worth it. You can always go to Fiverr and get some of these things, but to be honest with you, one of the things that Nick provides is a very personal touch to your order and something that is relevant to your brand. And here's the thing is he's very invested in your success on YouTube. And I know he's always been so cool to me. I'm a moderator on his channel. And if you haven't checked out Nick Nimmin and you're serious about taking your YouTube game to the next level, go visit Nick Nimmin. That's spelled Nimmin. Go over to Nick Nimmin's channel, check him out, and give him a follow, give him a like, name drop me, say, hey, Dale sent me on over here. I'm a moderator for his channel. I pop in on Saturdays during his live streams, but I have to tell you, it's really cool. Anytime I show up, he name drops me, and I probably get another 5 to 6 subscribers without even asking. Like, he literally just says, hey, Self-Publishing Dale's here. He's got us a great channel. You know, wonderful guy. He actually looks like he should be a distant cousin, considering the glasses and the almost rough scruffage here, the 5 o'clock shadow, if you will. But I'm trying to pay attention here to you guys as we talk. So we're going to kind of hopefully move forward. Let's take a look here inside the chat. William interview. Thank you very much. By the way, Ameko just dropped that link inside the chat, guys. So make sure that you click that link. And I want you to bookmark it, come back to it. William J. May really drops from some 411. For a newbie self-publisher, I'm going to tell you this, that this guy is a step ahead of most of the people. So if you are new to self-publishing, I can't recommend that stream enough to you. If you haven't published a single book, that right there is going to give you a better idea as your best first steps in establishing yourself and getting your brand going. I'm really excited about what the future holds for William, and I think Emeka can probably echo my sentiments. Which, speaking of, one of the things that William did is, obviously he learned from my channel, but he actually had a little bit of a head start. He got a program through Emeka, actually. Emeka's got a wonderful self-publishing course. I need to see about plunking down some money and just get it for myself. That way I can, see what's up. So he gave a wink here. Love Tuber Tools. His animated lower thirds rock my world. Yes. If you've got TubeBuddy, which is a YouTube plugin. If you've got TubeBuddy and you have the upgraded membership, you can actually get a lot of the Tuber Tools things for free. Things like lower thirds, transitions, thumbnails. I might be missing some other things, some very, very, very cool things. So, but once again, I don't want to go too far down the path of YouTube because I consider myself farthest from authority. Yeah, I'm about ready to break 1,000 subscribers. So with that being said, it's time for me to pander to you guys again. Without your help, I couldn't be able to reach my big goal. I wanted to break 1,000 subscribers, and guess what? We're about 20 short of 1,000 subscribers. But I don't want a bunch of fake ones, so don't just tell your mom to come over and subscribe to me. Do me a favor. If anybody has ever had an interest in publishing, get a hold of him and say, hey, check out this dude. It really mean the world to me if you could be able to do that. All right, let's go a little bit further down. What classifies a newbie? The money you make or the books you have? That is a great question. Anthony, my boy, always coming with the great questions. I love it. Which, by the way, keep firing off the questions. I'm going to try to address everybody as they go along here. Classifies a newbie. Oh, man. That's going to be such a subjective thing. So from my experience, I find that a newbie is a person that's probably fired off their first book to first, I'd say, 1 to 6 books and hasn't really made more than about $1,000 per month. When you can break that benchmark of about $1,000 per month, I'm going to tell you this much, man. And I'm not going to say it's smooth sailing, but some things are going to start to click. You're going to start to build a little bit of confidence. You're going to know this is going to be something that's going to make a difference in your life. So here's the beauty of being a newbie. I consider myself a newbie. I'm only 4 years into this business. I think that I'm a newbie. But the thing is, I have an obsessive personality. When I really believe in something and really I want to do it, I don't just do it halfway. I go all the way or not at all. That is my personality. I did that with wrestling. I did that with activities in healthcare industry. I did it with music. Heck, even as a kid, I used to sit down. I love playing guitar. Still do to this day. But when I was a kid, I would spend hours in my room playing guitar. And I literally, like, this was back before the days of the internet. And we didn't have necessarily things that we could pull up the internet and go, hey, let's go ahead and see what's the tablature for Cemetery Gates by Pantera. No, and I couldn't afford Guitar World too often. That was usually a luxury every now and then, like Christmas, I'd get Guitar World or Guitar Magazine, and I had to do everything by ear. And I would obsessively listen to songs that put on my headphones, and I would wear out tapes just from trying to learn the riffs and try to teach myself. So that's how obsessive I am, and that's why I might know a little bit more than the average bear comes in the self-publishing business, but I consider myself a newbie. So that was a long way for me to answer your question, Anthony. I guess it's going to be really subjective because I'm sure that someone like a Steve Scott or even one of my buddies, Paul Rega, he's been a top 100 author in Amazon. They probably look at me and go, that guy's a newbie. So in any event, I'd love to know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on what's a newbie? What qualifies a newbie? Let's see here. Dale, I'm loving your videos, man. You're very instructional, educational. Keep up the good work, my friend. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the kind words. It's good to know that some of these videos are getting out there and really helping get you going. Just the one thing I always just say is this, is I've turned off YouTube ads. I might turn them back on. It really just depends. But if you can do me a favor in the meantime, if you'd like a video, make sure that you're, first of all, liking it. Comment. Commenting is huge within the YouTube community. YouTube loves engagement, so the more engagement we have. So if you like a video, just even something simple as, I enjoyed the video and this is why, or great, it doesn't matter. Either way, that little thing. And sharing is huge. So just do me that small favor. You really enjoy those videos, share it, like, comment. Heck, if you don't like it, put a thumbs down. I'm totally okay with that. And I get a lot of thumbs down, by the way. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and keep moving down. What are the animated lower thirds? So you'll see typically, obviously it's not in this, and it'll probably come in future live streams, but you would see, let's see, I'm going to point like right about here. I would have a bar that comes out and it says my name. It says Dale L. Roberts. It's in the lower thirds of the actual film. And that's how you really... in videos, this is, mind you, I'm even more of a newbie in video production. And any event, in videos, it breaks up into thirds. So you'll notice that, for instance, the top 1/3, I try to leave that blank. It just kind of, it gets it to where we can kind of frame it out and it's not awkward. Because you can imagine if I'm doing like this, it just looks awkward. It's cutting off half my head. So that's why the whole lower thirds, it actually puts it into the lower thirds of the channel, or it can be even on the other side. Either way, though, that's the lower thirds. Emeka, I would recommend to you either A, get the TubeBuddy upgrade, or B, you can always even, like, there might be some Fiverr gigs that there might be some people that will make you a lower thirds. In fact, here's another plug. And once again, this is not an affiliate. You can go over to my buddy GordEisman.com/workwithGord. All one word there. Gord Eisman. That's ISMAN. Gord Eisman's awesome. Love me some Gord. He actually was hugely instrumental in the development of my channel, my content, and what I put out there. I would say he was a big inspiration when it came to me doing daily content. So 17, I'm a noob. Yes, BV's a noob. He actually has one book up. We got to share it one of these times, BV. I appreciate it. If we could do that. If it has an example, Mecca. Okay, excellent. Kim here. My sister's driving. I'm here for real now. Thanks for the shout out. Hey, awesome. Very, very cool. Yeah. I'm glad your sister's driving and you're safe at least. So tell her, no texting or messaging me here. She can listen to me bloviate about this and that. Eventually, guys, by the way, I will be putting like the chat up in here. I'm just trying to add one element at a time. And today, what I'd love to do, and I'm just going to pump the brakes, we're going to do a little bit of we're going to troll about on Amazon for a minute or two. So we're going to get to that in a couple of minutes. So if you happen to be tuning in right now or you're checking the replay, stick around. We're going to be getting over to Amazon in just a minute, and I want to do a screen share. So we're going to do a little bit of niche research. Let's see if we can find some juicy stuff for you guys. My problem is I'm a writer, not necessarily a marketer. Anthony, you bring up a great point, man. I love writing. I love writing. In fact, actually, it's kind of taken a back seat, but technically not, because these videos, I'm writing all the scripts. Obviously, you can see there's a different cadence in the way I speak on these casual videos, like the live streams and on my Sunday Unscripted, and the ones that I actually do the other days of the week. Eventually, that's going to be going to the wayside. Eventually, I won't be scripting because I really need to be taking the time to write my next fitness book. And I'm also thinking about taking some of this information that I have on self-publishing and actually releasing that on Amazon and get it to where you guys can get your hands on that. But in any event, as far as being a marketer, man, that is where you really got to step back and start to say, okay, I just want to write. And it was a conversation I had with Tim Knox in his interview about a month or two ago. And the reason why he got into ghostwriting was he doesn't like the marketing. It just drives him crazy. Doesn't like having to bother with that. And he doesn't mind parting ways with his work. But if you're emotionally invested in your work, as I am, you probably are hard-pressed to sell it out as a ghostwriter. So that's where you really need to analyze your business and start to find areas of opportunity. Here's the thing. Regardless of what you're pulling in, get your pens out and get your papers out. I'm going to talk a little bit of business. We're going to talk a little bit of finance and planning for your long term. Regardless of how much you're making in your self-publishing business. Okay, if you're making $0, by the way, this is probably not pertaining to you. But even if you're making $7 per month or you're making $7,000, I want you to do yourself a favor, okay? All of us are naturally inclined to reward ourselves with the money. We're like, hey, it's time to go live it up. I'm going to go buy this new Maserati, and I'm going to do these things, and I'm going to buy nothing but organic food and this food processor I don't need, which, by the way, I don't do that. You can see it really becomes, you get caught up in things. I'm going to tell you this, that if you don't save money now or funnel money towards a certain expense, you never will. So here's a very basic rule, and I'm going to challenge any of you watching this. Take 10% of all your earnings, and I want you to just, if it's something like, say, for instance, my boy Anthony here, let's say he hates marketing. Dude, don't market. Stop marketing, okay? Because it's going to make you dread putting together your next book, which you shouldn't. If you're a writer, dang it, write. That's what you need to be doing. In fact, you should be writing until your fingers fall off, be it from, using a pencil, or if you're using the old typewriter. Does anybody use typewriters anymore? Like the large ones with the clanky sounds. But either way, you need to be writing. So with that 10% being said, you need to be funneling just a little bit of money towards expenses such as that. Because what it's going to do is it's going to take that burden off of your shoulders. Yes, you're going to be missing a little bit of that earnings, but you're going to be hiring a professional to do the marketing, and you're just going to take that off your shoulders. So I want to do a very quick plug here to heyoava.com. I'm doing a lot of plugs today. Ava Fales, I had actually interviewed about a few weeks ago here on this channel, and Ava is my virtual assistant. Ava lives just south of here in North Carolina. She's not your average virtual assistant. I'm going to tell you that. She's not like something that's going to be outsourced over into the Philippines or elsewhere. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Ava has skill sets that really, really complement what I don't want to bother with. Like, I don't want to worry about website development. I don't want to worry about website SEO. I don't want to bother with doing email newsletters. There's other tasks that I have Ava do. For instance, she's researching some affiliate things. So what I do is I sit down on a quarter-to-quarter basis. So I take and I split up the year into 4 parts. And what I will do is I start to put together an average of what I'm making. So if you're averaging, say, $7 per month, hopefully it's not that low, but if it is, you can anticipate over the course of, say, quarter one, 3 months, you're going to make $21. That means you're going to have, as a bare minimum, if you're funneling 10%, I'm just throwing a random number out here, folks, $2. Okay, $2 is going to go towards, say, a virtual assistant, somebody who's going to do marketing, or you can even take that $2 and put it over towards Amazon marketing services, which is dead simple. Dead simple. Really, really easy. If you're not doing Amazon marketing services for your Kindle book today, you need to get on top of that. But you're going to want to start funneling a bit of your money, because this is something I learned from Tony Robbins when it came to actually tithing or donating money, is if you're not going to donate a little money now, what makes you think when you're a millionaire later on that you're going to be donating? Okay? Just that simple. So don't minimize any amount of money or income that's coming into this, because it can make a huge difference. And I think that if I hadn't done that over the past year, if I hadn't funneled a portion of my profits towards that direction, I wouldn't have something as awesome as Ava. Ava's wonderful. She takes care of me and really goes above and beyond this, call of duty at times. In fact, actually, she sent me just an amazing news for the email newsletter. But how many of you out there do the same? Are you the type of person that as soon as you make your earnings, it's all spent? Or are you planning those things ahead? And here's the beauty of it. Let's say, for instance, you're projecting, if I'm going to say quarter four, I'm going to start putting aside probably about a quarter of all of my income towards ads, because I'm going to really be going crazy on doing ads into quarter four. It's the best time of year. So if you can get your ads up in front of people, man, you're going to make money hand and fist. You're going to have a beautiful, beautiful Christmas. It won't be a white Christmas. It's going to be a green Christmas. So you're going to want to really start to funnel that money. So how many of you out there spend all of it, or who all saves it? And here's the beauty of it. If you don't spend all of it, guess what you do? You can reward yourself with something. Maybe give yourself a little bit of a bonus. Maybe buy yourself a writer's block t-shirt. Maybe you, I don't know, fund another project. You can always just hire another ghostwriter to do another outsourced book, or you can even, hire a graphic designer to tune up your cover, or in the instances of my buddy Anthony here, we can always get him to go hire out an experienced marketer. All right, sorry if I just bloviated a little too long. This is kind of fun. I love talking about these type of things. By the way, if you guys see me looking down, I'm actually looking at my thing. I tried to hang it up above my thing, my mobile device. I tried putting it above the screen, and it almost knocked down my whole set. So I'm like, it's going down here. All right. Let's see here. 30 books now. Haven't made even 1,000 a month yet, but I'm focusing on books I want to put out for my ministry, not necessarily what sells. Dude, I can't tell you enough. That is what you need to focus on. Here's what I get a lot, and this is a newbie question. Sometimes even people that are more experienced is, what niche should I publish in? I don't know. My buddy Emeka and I were talking about this, and he just eyes like saucers when I tell him there are people making thousands of dollars on books about adult baby diaper romance. Yes. Okay. Sorry. If you're into that thing, that's cool. It's a little weird, but it just goes to show you can be able to make profits in just about anything. Know where your audience is at. Know what their problem is, and give them the solution. Adult baby diaper people, their problem is, I need a book that gets my rocks off on adult baby diaper. Well, just so happens I've got this book for adult baby diaper romance. So you connect those things. And I think for someone like you, Anthony, you've got 30 books. It might be a case of just taking a step back. You might need to actually have an objective point of view on this one, to where you can look at your books. And you got to really start to analyze, because 30 books, I'm going to tell you this, that should easily be pulling in about $1,000. But if it's the spray and pray method, putting those things out there, you might have had a hit pretty quickly in the first 30 days, and it could have died off. If it didn't hit very well, then chances are pretty likely you're going to have to go look at those 4 elements I always talk about: is the title and subtitle, your book cover, your book description, and that was 4 actually because I said title and subtitle. Your metadata, your keyword metadata also is going to be an important factor. James Ranson, also an editor, actually I'm going to be interviewing this next week. He's coming into town. James also brings up a good point too, is, the content makes a huge difference. Absolutely, absolutely. But the barrier of entry is considerably steeper because it doesn't matter what you have within the book if your cover is bowling shoe ugly, if your title and subtitle is a spammy mess, or if it doesn't quite tell a person what they can anticipate within the book. So that's really what it's going to kind of boil down to. I can go through my catalog and I can tell you within, the hundreds of thousands that I have, I can tell you exactly why some of them didn't sell, be it a bad cover, be it I didn't spend enough time marketing it, be it that I did a poor book description and didn't have good keywords within the book description, title, subtitle, and metadata. So there's many, many factors. I would love to, and if you ever get the opportunity, I'd be happy to kind of sit down and chat with you. It would be kind of cool to kind of sit down and maybe just look at one of those books and maybe figure something out. I won't expect for you to do that live here. Let's see here. I'm going to scroll on down. Here we go. The Scorp. What's happening? Good to see you back here, Scorp. Hi, Dale. When choosing a pen name, can you get in trouble if you use a common first and last name? Thanks. That's not yours. Oh, man, that's a gray area. Unfortunately, since it's starting to go in towards a legal perspective, I can only just give you an educated guess at this point. You're going to want to steer away. Like, for instance, don't get cheeky and put out Stephen King. Put out horror books by Stephen King. You don't want to be putting out something like L.E. James. Have some erotica books with L.E. James. You don't want to be spinning pen names. One of my favorite things to do is I'll typically, for pen names, and I'm actually going to put this out in a video. It's a script that's been setting on the back burner for a long time, is how to make a pen name that's going to be relevant. It just takes a little bit of work. One of the things that I love that gets me to where I feel attached to a brand is when I can attach a person that I love's name on it. So for instance, my brother's name and my sister's name is on a particular name, on a brand name. And the book does reasonably well. It's a coffee table book, and I sell a little here, a little there. It's a little thicker, and it's a higher ticket item. So I'm pretty happy with the sales that come about that. But either way, I feel a little bit more invested in that book because it actually has my brother's and sister's name on it. There are other things, for instance, I got another brand that I use on both my sister-in-law's names. And what you'll want to do is develop a name, and then do me a favor. You're going to go onto Amazon.com and look it up. So that way you find out if there's other names. So for instance, and this is not necessarily a pen name, Dale L. Roberts is my name. There was an actual mystery writer, Dale Roberts, who was long established well before me. And I didn't discover that till I'd released my first book. And when I discovered there was a Dale Roberts, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a problem because I plan on setting up shop here in the Dale Roberts name. And I don't want to step on this guy's toes. So that's why I ended up putting in the L. And it's been a long time since I said it, but I usually say Dale L. Roberts. But in any event, that's why I do that. There's just shades of gray on this one. No reference to the book. Just use your best, common sense. And then I would say go over to Google. Google would be another way that you can kind of check just to make sure that there's no other author. Unfortunately, my wife has a name of a adult film star. So that's one of the reasons why she never uses her name for her brand. But let's see here. Like John, that's BV. That's money right there, dude. Money. Dragon Man. I'd say invest in things that will buy you time to write. Yes. Oops, write new phone. Slowly and steady wins the race. Yes, slow but steady does win the race, but doesn't pay the bills. This is the reality, man. It's a long game. It's a long game. There's one thing I think you guys are going to start to appreciate about me if you haven't already. I will never ever tell you that there's fast ways to do things. You're going to see some rather inflated stories on the internet because it gets people's interest, it gets views, it gets watch time, and of course, in turn, that ends up being revenue and ads. I'm not saying that I'll never do that, but I will say that I don't often do that and rely on money because I don't want to give you this feeling that, yeah, you're going to be making thousands upon thousands of dollars. So you can get to that point. I mean, hey, look, if I can do it, you can do it. But here's the thing is it's a long game. If you really focus on good quality content and some of the tips that I've given through this channel, it'll pay the bills. Just get there. And if you chase your passion, it's going to be fun in the process. The unfortunate part about that is you might have to actually carry a day job. You might have to go donate some blood to make ends meet. Hey, look, I mean, shoot, there's actually a scar right here on my arm from when I went over to Phoenix. I didn't have any money to my name, and I was really worried about, when I could ever be able to make ends meet and pay rent. And I had to kind of go donate plasma and blood to make ends meet, put food on the table. It sucked, but it was a necessity. But that's why I try to tell people, don't do what I did. I gave a 30-day notice believing I was going to be a smash success in self-publishing, and I found out the hard way that there are few unicorns in this business. There are few people that will come out the gate making $3,000 to $10,000 in their first 30 to 90 days. So the chances are most likely you're going to be closer to that stat. I think that Chandler Bolt had shared one time that a great percentage of self-published authors make $500 a year. That's right, a year. I didn't say 1 month. I said 1 year, $500. At that point, I would have to start to really wonder what I was doing with my business and where I was going wrong. Um, I know it doesn't relate, but I put 100% of my earnings back into my streaming hobby, but that's because it's a hobby. Yeah, that's always a good thing is too, is if you do make some earnings, and this is going back to the old subject, is uh, if you feel that confident in your business and the direction that you're going, put 100% back into your business if you can. That speaks volumes, but don't forget, treat yourself every now and then. Don't forget about saving for taxes. Yes, Emeka, this is something I learned from Lance Storm. You're going to love this. Lance Storm, former WWE superstar, Intercontinental Champion, a Tag Champion, European Champion at one point or another. Lance actually taught us, one of the things was, isn't it about the money that you earn, or not about the money you earn, but the money you save. And he was big about saving about a quarter of all of his earnings because he would take that, put it back into a savings account, and that would be paid towards Canadian taxes as well as American taxes. And he said it actually ended up accumulating a little bit of interest within that, and he actually was able to kind of hold on to some of that money and continue to reinvest it and still be able to pay his taxes and such. The guy retired in his late 30s, for crying out loud, and continues to train wrestlers up in Canada. And it's not like he's making millions of dollars per year running a wrestling academy and that portion. But one of the things he always said was, put aside money for taxes. Yeah, absolutely. I can't agree with you more. And better safe than sorry. Always go talk to your CPA about what's going to be the most appropriate amount. And if you are a full-time entrepreneur, you're going to want to focus on doing quarterly taxes. I'm really bad about that. And my wife is really good about keeping us on track for our taxes and taking care of that. One of these times we'll get her on the stream here. All my earnings are reinvested into my creative entrepreneurship. Excellent, Kim here. That I agree with that. Daughter's watching, FYI. Yes. Hi. I remember you saying she had actually. I was used to funny. Now I'm boring. Good news though is the channel is at least family friendly. So I like your new direction, Dale. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. The new direction is still going to be heading towards that way. I'm going to probably start to skip forward here. The super niche romance thing is huge. Yeah, romance is big, actually, and I won't knock it. There is, my wife runs a fiction-based self-publishing business. She runs it separately from mine, and there was been some times where some people kind of think that we have the same businesses. No, ours are completely separate, but she does quite well with romance. Books be Should books be on a related topic within a niche when first beginning? Yeah, yes. I'm not sure what you're shooting for. Any book's going to be on a related niche when first beginning. But as far as establishing brand, you might have to explain just a little bit better. S. One thing I don't do is recruit for reviews. Yeah, it's becoming, and I'll be actually addressing this rather soon about reviews and how to get reviews. And the bottom line is this, is it should be an ancillary part to your business, just a small portion of your business. I'm not telling you should put reviews off the side and never worry about it or never look to get those. But the big part of what determines sales is getting out there, producing content, marketing it properly. And you want to make it still part of your business plan. But the problem is Amazon is starting to really ratchet down the whole review process, and they're continuing to purge a lot of those things. So you still reach out to a good review team, but remember this little rule, and I said this not too long ago in a stream. Was it in a stream? Nope, it was in a video, previous video about reviews. No more review exchanges. Now, I'm not talking about review swaps, okay, where the author quid pro quo type thing. No more review exchanges. In other words, you can no longer reach out to somebody on Amazon, and this is actual Amazon word from Amazon. They told me specifically, no more. Essentially, you can't reach out to an Amazon reviewer, let's say a top 1,000 reviewer, and say, hey, here's my book. I'll give you a complimentary copy in exchange for an honest review. You can give a complimentary copy out, but, big but, it cannot be with the express intent of getting a review from them. It's kind of like, here's a complimentary copy. If you review it, that'd be great. Wink. So even then, and they can no longer say in the verbiage of a review, I received a complimentary copy in exchange for an honest review, because I guess that they're starting to pull those down too. They don't like those. I guess they are viewing those as biased again, and they're considering it paid reviews, and that's just a big no-no. So, how much importance do you place on the subtitle? Subtitle, dude, this is where a lot of people get it wrong, man. I'm telling you. And this is going to happen for fiction and nonfiction, is getting a subtitle that is going to, in some instances for fiction, to set the reader's mind on a course. And now I'm not telling you to stuff it with keywords in a fiction book, but you need to kind of give me a good understanding. Now, are subtitles essential to fiction? No, not by any stretch. You can get by with a good, good title if you want to, but in nonfiction, critical. This is where you're going to really want to. So, for instance, I could say something as simple as the 90-day home workout plan. Okay, most people will probably get it, but I went on further to say this is an exercise program for weightlifting, cardio, core, and stretching. And people kind of got a better idea of, oh, okay, I got it specifically. So that way people aren't getting this workout plan and going, I hate stretching. Why did I get this? This is stupid. It kind of walked them down. Now, that was kind of a wordy, if I had to do all over again, I don't like my subtitle. It's a little too wordy for my liking. I probably could have been a little bit more succinct in that. But subtitles are huge, and it is valuable real estate. Don't waste that valuable real estate. Check out my boy William. In fact, we'll jump on Amazon here in just a second, and I'll share William's book cover. It's a decent book cover, and his subtitle paints a picture, gives you good ideas of what's going on. Tip, use the most popular names of the year. Oh, got to go just arrive at Comic-Con. Hey, have fun. Kim here. I'm sure you're probably already gone, but I appreciate you popping in. Have fun at Comic-Con. Looks good. Thumbs up. Ha, I think I met and surpassed your plasma donations. You got the scars to prove it yet, bro? I got scars on both arms. It's beautiful. I always look at that. It just looks like someone mangled it up. If you want to bundle it later, subtitle equals more keywords. Yes. Need to have a balance, no doubt. Absolutely. I can't tell you how many times. If there's one thing you guys can take from this stream, I want you to understand that stop keyword stuffing your title, subtitle, and series name. Quit it. Just stop it. It looks subpar. And I, as a reader, won't buy a book with something like that. I am an avid reader. I am a person that loves to read fitness books. I love fiction. I love all walks of fiction. And if your stuff reads like a freaking stereo manual, with a bunch of parts in it, I'm not buying it. And I think that there's many readers out there who agree with me. And I don't care if there's a top 1,000 book out there that says Werebear Shapeshifter Romance inside the opening title part of it. That thing is going to be here today, gone tomorrow. I can guarantee you. Lay money on it. Lay money on it. I promise you. Let's see here. Topic is fashion, and 10 ebooks cover 10 different aspects of fashion, as opposed to writing 10 books on 10 unrelated topics. Yes, S, that is actually a great example. Absolutely. Doing unrelated topics and going all over the place, unfortunately, it's going to, the best way to put it, and this is one of my favorite phrases, I always say, it's a proverb that goes like this: the man who chases two rabbits gets none. So focus your branding on something. Hang your hat on something that you can be very happy with. So when I've got somebody that says they don't know what niche to publish in, what should I publish in, I typically tell them, and this is fun, I actually just did this with exercise somebody the other day and I didn't respond to them yet. I tell them, write down 10 things that you really like in your life. I was like, take publishing, put it off the side. I don't want to hear anything about publishing. I want to know what your 10 favorite things are. Write them down. Don't think about it. Just literally write them down without thinking. Because I can tell you right now, I love reading, I love writing, I love working out, I love playing video games, I love traveling with my wife, I love animals, I love volunteering, I love my self-publishing channel on YouTube, I love video content creation, and I love to eat and make food. So those are some of the things. You can see all 10 of those things I could create an entire brand around. Let's go ahead, for instance, we can talk about cats. I love cats. I could probably put out a book on How to Properly Groom Your Cat by Dale Lewis Roberts. How to feed your cat appropriate foods. How to take your cat for a walk on a leash. You can see that everything's building around this cat thing. And of course, I would love to hear what your idea is too. I'm sure you've got some great ideas, because we could look at something like traveling. Traveling is huge. Oh my gosh. Traveling on the cheap is gigantic. By the way, that one's a freebie for you guys. That right there is a lucrative niche. Right there, like, you can hang your hat on that. You could be able to go traveling on the cheap. Traveling on the cheap to Columbus, Ohio. Traveling on the cheap over to the Midwest. Traveling on the cheap to Belize. So you can think about many ways that you can build off a specific brand, as opposed to spray and pray. And spray and pray is something I've always said, and shotgunning is finding something, a popular niche, and then, oh, okay, I'm going to throw something out here. There we go, I'm gone. Throw something out here, and now I'm gone. Think about your long game. Focus on the things that are going to build your business for the long term, because you want something that's going to sustain you for the rest of your life. Do work once, okay, and go on with life. Because here's the beauty of it. I just took a vacation not too long ago down to Orlando. Guess what I left behind? Didn't bring my computer. I tried to unplug from my phone. That's hard. Either way, I was able to kind of relax and go on a vacation, and understood that while I was gone, I was still making profits. I was making income. And that's the thing, is because I took the time to really build and establish myself on a brand. And it's not just the Dale L. Roberts brands. By the way, I've got numerous brands, because I've been doing this long enough that I am able to get myself sustained with a volume of many different things. If you're a newbie self-publisher, do not do what I'm saying. Okay, do not. Start with one. Start with one and get good footing on that one, and then build from there. So let's see here. Don't chase the rabbits, set a trap for them. Yes, yeah, you got it. You got it for sure. On traveling, how to travel comfortably when you're overweight. Yes. Oh my gosh. Literally, S, you've got it on the money. Like that right there. That right there, someone has a problem. I can't tell you how many times that someone has been overweight and they have to kind of get shoehorned into those tiny little seats. Because look, I'm 6'2" and 190 pounds. It is a snug fit for me. So I can only imagine what it's like to actually have to squeeze into something like that. So that's a problem. If you can be able to provide that person a solution, tell them the different airlines they can be able to go to, or even ground transit that they can be able to use, that they can travel comfortably in. There's so many things even for instance, we can even build off on traveling comfortably when you're overweight. How about on traveling and eating properly when you're overweight? That's something that's a big struggle for a lot of people that are overweight. It's like, oh, there's not many healthy options. Well, it's not that there's not many healthy options. There's tons of healthy options, just knowing where those options are available. You can see this is a lot of fun. I love building a brand in a niche. It's a lot of it's fun. We can throw things against the wall and see if they stick. But your energy is what inspires me, Dale. Hey, thanks. I appreciate it. I am very passionate about what I talk about. When you guys get to see my videos, I don't think I convey enough of the energy that I have. And you guys can see this in the live streams. And this is a huge reason why I tried to connect here on the live stream. And my brother says, yep, money. Yep. I like money. All right. Hey, so if you guys are still, Dog Dad, he says, peace, off to work on the biz. Oh, speaking of Dog Dad Official is going to be my official interview for tomorrow and the self-publishing interview. Dog Dad's got a very interesting and insightful story, and I wanted to share it with you guys in the fact that you can really hustle, and not draw a dime in self-publishing. And it's when that switch goes off in your head. And Dog Dad hit that switch. And it hit not just a light bulb above his head, it hit off a lighthouse. This guy is kicking butt and taking names on his new brand as Dog Dad. He was doing a business based on gluten-free fitness, and he was just struggling with it. I mean, barely just making any kind of money. And he'll admit this inside the interview. But as soon as he switched it over to something he was really, truly passionate about, you guys are going to love his story. It's wonderful. It's about a half-hour interview. I'm actually going to be airing that tomorrow night at 6 p.m. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel and turn your notifications on so you can see this video right away. And just do me a favor. If you watch that video, make sure that you leave a comment. I want to hear what your insights are. And Scott has just got a wonderful story. He's a good friend of mine, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy the interview between the two of them because he's got a great energy about him as well. One of my best buds, in my opinion. Love your interviews. Keep it going. Yeah, every Friday is going to be the interviews. In fact, I've got my full schedule posted in my comments section. If you go to my comments inside my channel, I actually put it in there. It is officially Sunday Unscripted, Monday Week in Review. Tuesday is going to be my Top Tuesday, which is going to be consisting of my top tools, top lists, so on and so forth. Wednesday actually says Wacky Wednesday, but we're actually switching that to Wild Card Wednesday. That's going to be something I'm going to be trying to fit in some older themes that I had been working on. Thursday's live stream. Friday is going to be always the interviews. And then Saturday is going to be my review of particular self-publishing tools and resources. So I have a ton of them. And a lot of people are always asking me, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I've discovered that reviews are really, really starting to pick up on this channel. Grammarly was one of them that is doing stellar. I'm not even driving ad traffic to this. And the review that I placed on Grammarly, one of my absolute like musts in my business is my Grammarly tool. And even if you get the freemium model, Grammarly is well worth it. I just promise you, if you put that into your Chrome extension browser, it makes life easier, and it makes you seem more intelligent too when you post something and you're not missing capital letters or you've done a typo. It's a lifesaver. I love it. I love it. Are there directions to where that switch is located? Dog Dad might help you out. He really, I'm telling you, he really does bring the 411 on this one. This is one that I kind of sat back and I let him do a lot of the talking. He did a lot of the heavy lifting. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about it because he really kind of connected on that level to where he kind of tell you where he was struggling and the direction his business is going in. It's stellar. There's no limit on what his business is going to be doing here going into 2018. I can't wait to see what is going to happen with his business. Thanks, Dale. I appreciate it. I hate Grammarly slowed my computer down so much. Oh, really? Huh. I appreciate you giving that feedback there. That's kind of crazy. I never heard about it slowing it down. I know that when I used it on PC, now that you say about it, I'd used it on the MS Word plugin for the extension for MS Word, so I could actually put the Grammarly in there. It created a lot of lag. So I ended up getting rid of that anyways. I was going to use it on Mac, but truthfully speaking, I just typically just use the Chrome plugin. And even then, I shut it off on specific channels because I don't want to always have it, looking at my stuff. Ended up removing it. Do you? My question: do you have a particular and this goes out to everybody, do you have an editing software such as that? So in other words, there's another one called Hemingway, I think is the name of it. So you guys, if you have one, that'd be awesome. Let me know for sure. Seemed like it was thinking more than than I was. LOL. Good stuff. All right, hey guys. Once again, keep going in the chat. It's been about an hour deep into this stream here, and I can't see letting up. So what I need you guys to do is list your comments down here. If you're just getting into the channel and you're lurking about, just do me a favor, click the thumbs up, or if you're not liking it, click the thumbs down. Either way, click a thumb. One of the two, that'd be awesome. That'd be great. Leave a comment here. I would love you can be able to share, and of course subscribe, click the notifications on. Now, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and do a little bit of niche research? What do you guys say? Let's do a little bit of fun. So we were talking about traveling, so why don't we just go ahead and transition into this? Now, I'm not telling everybody, get on traveling. This is going to change your life. If it's something that interests you, obviously go with it. But don't always take advice that this is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. You know, you want to chase after something that is going to be something passionate. Of course, that's been the ongoing theme. All right, so I'm moving my chat over here. So if I don't respond to you right away, please let me know. I'm going to switch over to display mode, and I need you guys to do me a favor here. We're going to go ahead and pop this up. Can you see my screen okay? KDP Rocket, Big Robs, I don't want to reveal just yet. I will be doing a review of that, and I think it's the week after next. It's actually going to be releasing on Saturday. This Saturday's product is going to be something a little different. But can you guys see my Chrome browser here? Let me know inside the comments. Can you see my stuff in Chrome browser here? I want to make sure everybody see me. Let me scoot this down. It looks like you guys are seeing it. Give me a thumbs up. Tell me you guys can see this okay, because I'd hate to go knee deep into something you guys aren't seeing a lick of what I'm looking at. Yes, thank you, BV. I appreciate it. All right, so here's one of the things you guys are going to notice inside my browser. I do not have, you guys will notice right along, and this is something I'm going to always suggest, and I'll probably put this in a future video, is optimize your business. If you're going to be going back to specific traveling on long trips with children, yeah, that's a good one. There's a good way to solve that for me. Yes, you can see Chrome. Great. You guys are going to notice inside my browser here, and it probably can be with other browsers as well, you'll see little icons along here for my bookmarks. These are the most relevant places that I'm visiting. The more that you can optimize and streamline your business, the better. So when I start out my day, you'll notice my top things I open up are KDP, Create Space, my Amazon ads, and YouTube, Smashwords, Pronoun. I get all my stuff out there because I try to just pump through those things. My very first beginning of the day things, I don't even touch Facebook or Messenger. You can see Messenger is a little further down on this stream. But nonetheless, what I do is I try to get these things all pumped out within my first half hour of getting up. Look at those reports. I just jump to what I need to look at. So that's why I recommend things to you. And if there was one thing I would recommend as well, you need 3 links setting up here at the top. You need one towards the Kindle store. I'm going to open up the Kindle store here in another tab. You need one towards the bookstore, and you need one towards just Amazon in general. Now, there's going to be a reason for Amazon in general. I'll get to that, but we're just going to focus on why I've got Kindle store. Well, Kindle store, obviously, let me go ahead and pull this one out here. I'm going to minimize that. Oh, go figure. Give me a second here, guys. I'm a dunce. All right, there we go. Now we're cooking. All right, so the reason why I do Kindle is that way I can do my niche research easily and quickly. I try to, here's a little bit of a tip. Remember this, I try to avoid my product pages. There's a common issue I see a lot of newbie self-publishers doing is spending a lot of time camping out on their page. So for instance, you know, I'll just go ahead and show you guys as an example, stretch workout. I'm going to go to one of my books. Ah, come on, Dale. The beauty of editing, by the way, guys. So I can sit here and click on mine. The issue that it runs in here is Amazon notices somebody has visited my page but is not making a purchase. What do you think Amazon's going to do? They're going to lose a little bit more confidence in actually pushing this because they're noticing that the click-through rate is just garbage. People are clicking on here, but they're not buying. I would recommend that if you're coming to your product page to look at your rank, go over to Amazon Author Central. I've got a full video series on that, and I talk about the book rank and how you can be able to track it in there. It's probably one of the easiest ways for you to do that. So let's go over to Author Central, for instance. Author Central. Awesome. I go into books. I can look down in here. You can see my ranks. Well, that's terrible. I can go into my sales ranks. Right away, it organizes all of your books in the lowest to highest, regardless if it's free or not. So you can see that free, that's in 7,000, which, by the way, that's nothing to brag about. That's garbage. Ideally, if you're in the free Kindle store, guys, I'm going to tell you that where the best spot to have is in the top 1,000 or less, closer to the top 100. But good news is these books fluctuate. I think this one was at one point or another. We'll go ahead and click on it. We'll see where its rank was. So you can see probably not too long ago it was about 1,900 inside the free store. It actually shot up to about number 95 in the free Kindle store. That's one of the nice things about my fitness brand is sometimes I won't even bother marketing it and it still does fairly well. So if you're going to analyze your rank, please use Author Central. Stop clicking on your page. Stop camping out there and refreshing your browser to see where it's been at. There are exceptions to the rule, but very few exceptions to those rules. So the reason why I also do the books is, remember, Kindle books and physical print books. Print books are going to be a different category altogether and different type of research. So anytime that I've taught something within a video about print books and Kindle books, you're going to want to research those a little bit differently. And if you're looking at starting a brand, so for instance, you were kind of discussing about, starting a brand. If you haven't done so already, make sure when you're doing your niche research that you're doing it on the Kindle store and the books. Now, here's a little bit of a tip for you guys, and I've said this on a previous video before. For Chrome, you can go Control-Shift-N, and it will actually open up incognito mode. That is where you need to be, because otherwise, guess what happens here, guys? Guess what happens? If we just go ahead and do our research here, they're going to start sharing things according to what I might like, which I'm looking at our hard hat, Dirty Men by Frankie Love. I'm telling you, whoo. Yeah, not feeling that, by the way. Not sure why I'm getting shopped at, but Chris Fox probably for a good reason because I do read Chris Fox's books. By the way, great self-publisher. You guys ever want to learn some good stuff from Chris Fox? He has some great stuff on self-publishing. So in any event, I typically will do incognito mode. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead. We're going to open incognito mode again. And I'm going to close out these other windows so you guys can just focus on this one right here. We're just going to go ahead and stick with just the Kindle store. Let's talk about travel. Here's what I always do. Since we're in incognito mode, we're going to pay attention to auto-suggest. Let's just start with a good root keyword, a good broad keyword. So let's say travel is going to be one of them. I want to write books about travel. The very first thing I'm going to try to do is pay attention to these particular words that are popping up here. There's relevance. This means that the vast majority of the people visiting Amazon are searching up these type of things. So we got travel memoirs, travel books, Traveling Light, Max Lucado, Travels with Charlie, time travel romance, time travel. You guys can see as you're going down here. Now, some of these things look like fiction works. Let's just say for the sake of argument, we're going to talk nonfiction because it's probably one of my favorite things to talk about. It's my wheelhouse. Let's go ahead and let's say I want to do travel books. Let's go ahead and let's try travel books out for size. We're going to go ahead and click that. And I'm just going to scroll down. Right away, boom, I see a bestseller. My gut instinct is starting to say this is going to be good. And look at that price point, $20.79. Now, I'm not familiar with Joshua Foer or Dylan Thuris, but apparently they're pulling their weight here. Bestseller. bestseller. Looks like we are kicking butt and taking names, but here's a real issue, guys. You're going to have a fist fight in this category. So let's do this. I'm going to grab something that seems most relevant to what I'm looking for. Atlas Obscura, An Explorer's Guide to the World's Hidden Wonders. That seems interesting enough to me. Whew, man, I love that price point. I'll take that all day long. Let's look at this rank here, guys. Guys and gals. I don't want to forget about you gals there. 786. Good Lord. I just about fainted right there. 786 in the paid store. How would you guys love that? That right there, this one's pulling in hundreds, if not thousands per day in sales. What would you do with that kind of money? Love Incognito, pure results. Yes, I researched with this, but now I'll use it on Amazon. Thanks for that tip. Yes, this is a Dave Chesson tip, actually. Dave Chesson from Kindlepreneur. If you guys aren't already following Kindlepreneur, you need to make that your goal. All right, now I'm going to look here at these particular browse paths. I'm paying attention to those. I don't care about this book. Really don't. It's inconsequential. But I'm looking at travel underneath books. Notice the difference between browse paths. We're on a Kindle page. This has a book. There's a Kindle store. Now this is an Amazon mess up right here. They probably pre-categorized that because you can't put a browse path of a book on a Kindle book. See, these are print books and they're not supposed to have that there. But I'm not going to throw them under the bus or tell on them or anything like that. But we're going to look at this browse path. Kindle store, Kindle ebooks, nonfiction, travel. I love it. I'm going to pick that travel. I didn't pick reference for good reason because I want to see what the other subcategories are. You'll notice on the left-hand side, food, lodging, and transportation, pictorial, reference, specialty travel, travel writing, Africa, Asia, Australia, so on and so forth. You guys can notice that there is a little bit of a pattern here. We're going to go ahead and think about traveling on the cheap. Let's click on food, lodging, and transportation. Oh, wow, we can categorize this underneath here. Let's say, for instance, that we were talking about our overweight friend that needs better accommodations for air travel. This would be a perfect situation. Now, this friend was, an imaginary person here that I would be referring to that we were talking about before, but let's say air travel. We'll go ahead and hit this. Wow, look how deep that browse path is. It starts out with Kindle store, Kindle ebooks, nonfiction, travel, food, lodging, and transportation, and air travel. And you'll notice it goes down even further into the other things, but we're just going to look at air travel. So the very first thing I noticed is there is no hot new releases on this category. That happens. This might be a new path. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit Control, and you're going to left click. For those of you on Amazon, you're going to press Command and then click. It'll open up another browser here. That way I keep my list open here. I want to be able to go back to that. Clued in Rome, the concise and opinionated guide to the city. Okay, this obviously is not quite what we're thinking of as far as air travel goes, because we're thinking about comfortable accommodations for an overweight person on air travel. All right. By the way, that's a terrible title if you guys plan on using it. Now, I'm going to point this out. This one's a freebie for you guys. Let me switch back over here just real quick. This is a freebie, guys. You guys are getting a first right here. This category is ripe for the picking. This is ready to go. If you are passionate about traveling and air travel and saving money, all you need to do is get in there. Start writing and producing some great content and setting it up. $195. Some people go, oh, that's not a profitable niche. You can make it a profitable niche if you know exactly where the audience is. Find their pain points. If you can find the person with the problem, you've got the solution. Put them together. I had to kind of get there so you guys can kind of get the whites of my eyes and understand the severity. I'm excited about this. I'm not going to publish in it, by the way. I'm not touching it. It's yours, free of charge. So at any rate, let's go back over to the display here. So, by the way, if you guys hear some piano in the background, that's my neighbor upstairs. So here we go. We've got a great category. Number 1 here. Let's look at senior travel. Oh my goodness, this is number 9 here. I am curious as to what senior travel. Senior travel is probably going to be doing something with someone who's retired, retirees maybe. So let's look at the number 1 book. Why don't we? It's the number 1 bestseller in senior travel. Let's scroll on down here. 55,000. Let me put this in context here. Oh man, I'm so freaking excited right now for you guys. I'm so excited on this one. 55,000 in the paid store. Let me put this in context. If you released a book today and you sold 6 to 12 of them, 6 to 12 of them out the gate, you could definitely break 50,000. Definitely. If you put it on KDP Select, you're probably breaking to the 20 to 30,000s. Senior travel. Boom. There you go. That's a freebie. Let's keep looking. This is exciting. I love doing niche research. All right, so let's go back a little bit. I see specialty travel. Let's click on this browse path. I want to take a look here. Ooh, amusement and theme parks. Some of my favorite. Yes, that is so true. I see S said, seniors often disabled need special accommodations. Yes, yes. And don't count out the seniors these days. Remember, the baby boomer generations are starting to shift over into the senior population, and they are tech savvy. My mother is very tech savvy. She uses her own iPad, or it might be a tablet, but either way, she's very, very tech savvy. BV says, I hate to fly, or terrified is the word I should use. That's kind of surprising, BV. We used to do so much as kids. All right, we're going to click on this Disney one. Disney Tips and Secrets, Unlocking the Magic of Walt Disney World Vacation. Going to tell you that this might be a trademarked book. So, I mean, it's got Mickey Mouse on it. It has the Disney emblem on it. So don't start jumping into doing, okay, you notice now, this is going to be a fist fight. 9,184. That's good, by the way. If you can get yourself about 10 to 20 of these puppies priced at about, saying $2.99, you'll be pulling in about $2 per copy. You know, you're going to probably be pulling in easily about 50 to $100 per month as a minimum. As a minimum. It might be more than that. Nonetheless, though, this is going to be a fist fight to get into the top of this amusement and theme parks. But let's not count out this category just yet. Let's take a look here into number 3. Take a look at number 3. Let's scroll on down, product page. Ah, there we go. I'm liking this. Number 3 is at 28,000. That means I've got a chance. It means I got a little bit of a chance. That's not too bad. When you're seeing 20 to like say 100,000, you've got a dog in the fight. I'm going to go over here to hot new releases. This is one of the areas that I look at right away is, can we topple the number 1 in the hot new release? Unofficial Guide to Disneyland. Okay, we're going to scroll down here. 46,000. Yeah, you got a dog in the fight for sure on this one. Remember this. If you're a hot new release, which means any books that were released within the first 30 days, if they perform well, Amazon will give them a little bit of a push. They give them this hot new release category right over here on the right-hand side. It's a way to kind of highlight some of these new books. So it gives you a bit more exposure. One of the things I focus on when I'm going into a niche is I focus on these 3 books, the top 3 inside bestsellers and the top 3 within the hot new releases. And then from there, I really start to build on it. Look at this one right here. Let's go ahead and click on the number 3 hot new release. I guarantee you, we could probably pump out a book right now, 76,000. We can pump out a book right now. And the accumulation of all of us watching this could far surpass that by purchasing a 99-cent copy. Now you're probably saying, well, 99 cents not going to make you very much money. No, but by sacrificing those earnings early on, you can be able to leverage that exposure and get yourself up here into the hot new releases, and if not, into the bestseller. Can you imagine if you've got a book right here in number one spot, when people are starting to visit this page, can you imagine what they're thinking? Well, this has got to be a pretty big deal. I better check it out. I just noticed right below, amusement and theme parks, budget travel. So we were talking about traveling on the cheap. Let's click the number 1 book. Last example here. All right, last example here, 2,760 in the paid store. Once again, this is a prize fighter right here. Don't expect knocking this thing down anytime soon. Now, what I tell you not to, go for it. Give it a shot. That's a good, clean cover, by the way. I like that. Good cover. Beautiful cover. You can tell why this person's probably pulling their weight here. Excellent, clean. Look at this title right here. How to Fly for Free. Practical tips the airlines don't want you to know. Oh my gosh. Think about that one. That is just ad copy at its best. This right here, practical tips the airlines don't want you to know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I want to know these practical tips. How to fly for free. First of all, you got me at that point right there. You got my favorite word in there, free. But you put practical tips in here that the airlines don't want you to know. I am willing to go ahead and put $5 down to figure out what it is that airlines are holding back on me. So, beautiful cover, excellent title. I'm loving that. So, could the topic for overweight travelers go under the weight loss category, or is that too risky? Oh, man. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'd love to hear what you guys think about this one. And if you happen to be watching this on a replay, what do you think? Could the topic for overweight travelers go under the weight loss category, or is that too risky? To me, I think it's kind of a gray area. If your express intent is to allow comfortable travel, let me go ahead and turn on the camera here. If your idea is to allow for comfortable travel for an overweight person, then to me it's not necessarily about weight loss. But if it's, say, for instance, pertinent to them losing weight while on the traveling, then yeah, it probably would be. There are many other health, fitness, and dieting areas that you could be able to categorize it underneath. And right now, it's still the Wild West when it comes to category choice. I mean, it was not too long ago that I even did a niche research video about it. It might have been unusual, or could have been the top performing. Yeah, it was Untapped Kindle Niches. You guys can look that up over inside my catalog of videos. Untapped Kindle Niches, and in that one, it showed one of the categories was like Romanian, or it could have been something else like that, but it was it was Croatian, I think it was. And either way, the person had put a ketogenic diet that was in full English, had no reference to Croatian at all. And that's just wrong. That's just a person just abusing the system. What they're trying to do is they're putting themselves into a category to leverage the exposure. But the problem is they're going to confuse people that are coming in and looking for something. And they're going to go, I don't know what this is. Or they might even get an accidental buy on something like that. That's just wrong. That's people trying to game the Amazon algorithm. And don't do that. Keep that stuff clean. So I'd be curious as what you guys think, because once again, it's an overweight person in traveling. One could make the argument that by moving more and traveling more, that you're going to be more susceptible to losing weight. I mean, so let me know what you guys think in the comments for sure. Would love to hear what you say. Great subtitle. Depends on the content of the book. Doesn't TC have a software program to help choose a niche? Yeah, Tom Corson Knowles actually does have a great one. I used it a couple times. I have not purchased the program. I went on to some kind of a free trial type thing, I think, at one point. See, so who you're marketing to is the most important for category I see now. Yes, absolutely. Think about your end user. Who's going to be reading your book ultimately? Because when you can identify I say this so many times, when you can identify your audience, you got a winner. It's really, really easy if you've got a YouTube channel or a Facebook like page, because now you can start to look in your analytics and discover who's reading your content, who's discovering your content, what's the demographics. So for instance, I will look in here to my analytics on YouTube, and I'll discover that a vast majority of the viewers that come on here, and I thank everybody that comes on here, but about 75% of my audience is 35 to 44 male. A great majority of my audience. Would love to have more females and love to have a vast, diversity within this channel, but it's a fact. It's just pretty much the analytics that YouTube brings back to me. So that's another thing, is having something like YouTube or Facebook like page. You could start to really niche it down. And that was one of the things that was able to kind of help me with my fitness brand, was because of my like page. I had like 400, 500 likes or something like that. And I looked in there and I was like, oh, well, duh. I'm sitting here shooting to the wrong audience this whole time, and that's really what helped me unlock things. So if you ever find that you're kind of dry, you're not really sure where you're going with your brand, and you want to kind of unlock those things, is YouTube channel, Facebook like page. You could probably even go into analytics, such as over in Twitter. It might be as far as that. So definitely Amazon hides demographic info. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, we aren't able to find those demographics in Amazon. You can't get bestseller anymore when you're in the wrong category. Amazon will send you an email that book is in the wrong category. Good to know. Good to know. I'm glad to see that they're starting to button that down. As an example, I'll tell you this to kind of piggyback off what you're saying, Yoga Latinos. Um, I actually had tried to add some browse paths to my audiobooks through Audible, and there was actually a video on that as well. It always seems like I got another video to plug. There, you can be able to add 3 browse paths specific to Audible, and Audible actually has a page for all the categories you can be able to put onto there. And I kind of tried to slide in some, and just kind of put myself in those categories. The funny thing is, they came back and they challenged me. They're like, those categories are not appropriate. And so there is getting a little bit of a pushback, but yeah, that is true. Yoga Latinos, yes, you are right on the money that Amazon's starting to they're getting smarter. They're getting smarter about it, and they're getting a little more privy to some people's gaming ways. But unfortunately, the hammer hasn't come down all the way. I doubt that. I don't want to speak too soon. I doubt that people's accounts are going to get terminated or banned, but most likely a lot of categories are going to start getting snatched down. But remember this, folks. You've got 10 browse paths that you can attach to any one publication, be it Kindle or paperback. Utilize those 10 browse paths to the max capacity. I can promise you, most any book, you can put those into those categories. There is a category for that book. Just kind of like we were saying, though, don't try to game the system and put it into a category that's not appropriate. So if you have a book that you literally like, oh, there's only 3 real categories on this, then that's okay. But I can promise you that if you do a little bit of due diligence, you'll find out real quick. And here, let's go back into a screen share. Let me show you how you can find out other browse paths. So we have how to fly for free. We're going to scroll down here. Customers who also bought this item. Also bots are tremendous. Tremendous. I want to make sure I'm still sharing with you guys. Okay. These are tremendous. So for instance, we can find these browse paths. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy these browse paths. I'm going to put it on a document somewhere else. So I could probably do like my notepad here. You guys get the idea. I would copy, I would paste it right here, and then be done with it. Now, I go back up to the also bots, and I'm going to start to go down this rabbit trail. Now, please don't be a jerk and click on people's sponsored products because you're making a person pay for that. So you're going to click on the Travel Hacking Pocket Guide. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what the browse paths are on this. More browse paths. A couple of them are shared, but you're going to find something different. And now, if you scroll further down, a good publication, look at this. This one has 5 browse paths on the very bottom. I don't know if you guys ever knew about look for similar items by category. This is where they put your additional browse paths, right here at the bottom. Okay, let's scroll up. Oh, here, hang on. Come here. What other items do customers buy after viewing this item? Let's go ahead and hit limitless travel. Tips, strategies, and resources for cheaper and smarter travel. Oh, that's a good clean cover. I like that. I like that. I wonder that's got to be a good rank. Man, 192,000. I'm pretty surprised on this one. You get more. Look at these browse paths. Let's scroll further down. Only 5 on this browse path here. Keep in mind, Kindle short reads, you can ask, but sometimes they won't give it to you. So, for instance, Kindle short reads, you can see this is 2 hours or more, 65 to 100 pages. You might have something that's 65 to 100 pages, but sometimes Amazon will say it's to their discretion whether they'll add you into the Kindle short reads or not. They won't always offer that to you. Yeah, Amazon has been doing some crazy things all around. Heard about what they did with merch. Hopefully that doesn't develop into a trend. Oh yeah, that's a nightmare. That's a different thing. Dale, can you clarify when it's worth it to compete in a category based on book sales rank? Let's go ahead and flip on over here because I can talk to you guys eyeball to eyeball on this one. When is it worth in BSR? First of all, very, very first thing is, does it interest you? Money aside, does it interest you? If you were to do this particular niche, does it interest you? That's going to be the first thing you need to answer, because if it doesn't interest you, next, move on. Because let's just put it into a real perspective. Let's say you never sell a single copy. Well, at least you had the pleasure of putting out something that you enjoyed doing, and you can probably even be able to have a better insight as to where you're going wrong. Let's say, for instance, we were talking about travel. Some of you that might be used to travel, you could probably have a better idea as to what's the words that you use to search up deals. Those might be the words that you need to describe your product. What are the other books within your niche? You can look at those books and you can be able to kind of not just look at it from a standpoint of, well, I'm going to duplicate what they're doing, but you also can look from a standpoint of, well, I might check that out. And by checking that out, you'll end up buying the book and see, okay, how can I be able to refine my product and do what this person's doing in the top 1,000, 2,000, or 10,000 spot in the BSR, book sales rank, by the way, everybody, or best sellers rank, excuse me. Either way, so that's going to be your first thing is you're going to do. The next thing is, if it is something you're passionate about, think about your long game. Okay, it can take one book to topple the top book inside a category, but what also helps it out is having an army of books. Volume sometimes can make a huge difference. Now, is that always essential? No, not necessarily. But let's look at someone like Steve Scott, who puts out one book per month. And he's done it over the past 5-6 years now. So he's got tons of books. And it's no surprise that he broke into the Wall Street Journal bestsellers list. So when you're looking at bestsellers ranking, here's a general thing that I try to look at. If I'm going into something brand new, I want to make sure that 20,000 to about 100,000. That's my sweet spot, because I know I can break 20,000. That's not an issue. 100,000. If something's a little bit higher than that and it starts to concern me, yeah, I can find and connect myself to the audience. But then I also need to kind of think about this. If the top spot is the one that we just looked at for travel at 195,000, we know that it doesn't appear like Amazon's doing anything proactively to bring the audience to you. So you're going to have to figure out some way that you can either do Amazon marketing services ads, run Facebook ads, do YouTube ads, so on and so forth. So you're going to probably have to put a little bit of more money, a little bit more time, unless you already have a ready set audience for that particular area. So it starts to go up into 100,000s, into the millions as far as the top and the BSR. Get ready, you're going to have to work. But then you have the extreme opposite. If something is, say, for instance, less than 20,000 down into the top 100, you're going to have a fist fight. You are going to have a fist fight to get into that top spot. Now, you should never, ever think to yourself, well, I just want to have an army of books that are 20 to 100,000. I never settle on that. In fact, I'm not happy with a lot of the books that I've published. I feel like they could do a lot better. There's some of them that I thought would do great, and there's some of them that do great that I thought wouldn't draw a dime. So it's kind of a wacky business. So you've got one end of things where if something's in the 100,000s to the millions, you're going to have to work to find the audience. But if you got something that's less than 20,000 to the top 100s, to the number one ranking thing, it's going to be tough to be heard in a crowded room. Okay, that's the thing, is you're going to go into this crowded room. Self-help. Guys, look that one up. Look up self-help. That's a tough category to break into. And it's just, there's a lot of self-help books up there. And good luck establishing yourself above the rest. Get ready to put in some work. And it's going to get even beyond. When you get into something like that, you're going to probably have to start to think about author appearances, doing YouTube channels, going and doing panels with writers. You're going to have to do a little bit of work to really break in there. Is it impossible? No. Now, for those of you running a ghostwriting business, you're going to probably have to think about, okay, if I hire a ghostwriter to put together this particular brand, this pen name, what are you going to do as far as marketing, getting the people there, getting them from this area to that area? Because there's a good chance you might actually have to hire a virtual assistant to act on the behalf of a pen name, so that way you're not having to manage this every single time. So for those of you in a ghostwriting business, you might actually know this, that you're going to spend more time managing than you will be doing anything as far as marketing, promoting, or writing, or anything else like that. So excellent question. I appreciate you brought that up here. It's sometimes it's really, really tough. There's no real good answer. It's just what's your idea of risk? What's your idea of risk? I'm kind of crazy when it comes to some things. I see a low hanging fruit like 195,000. There's part of me that goes, I can get the audience. I just need to go find that audience and bring them in there. So I'm always up for a challenge. But then again, I went into the health, fitness, and dieting area, and I was able to break into the bestsellers list at the very top numerous times over. And I can do it again and again and again. And it's not me being cocky and not arrogant. I'm confident in the fact that my next fitness book is going to definitely break into the top bestsellers list because it's just going to happen. It will happen. There's just certain strategies that you can be able to use that are completely, white hat policy. Nothing that's going to be under the table. Everything is clean. And that's insane. And when looking back at what I was able to accomplish with the health, fitness, and dieting, it's nuts. And that is a crowded niche, hugely crowded. And guess what? I've never had to show my abs once in a shot. Once. So excellent information. Thank you so much. Hey, I appreciate you, saying something big, Robs. It's awesome that you're tuning in here. So at any rate, man, do you guys got any other kind of comments, concerns, questions? Please leave them now or forever hold your peace. I thought today would be kind of a fun day. Next week, I would like to focus on something a little bit different and want to kind of lay a little bit of groundwork here. It's going to be a little bit of an audible. I've got a special event coming up this next Thursday, so I'm going to actually probably have to move into an earlier time slot, or I might do it on Wednesday ahead. So I might actually switch my Wednesday video to Thursday, and I might live stream next Wednesday. So saying that out loud, we're going to do that. So Wednesday at 6 p.m. next week will be my live stream. That'll just be next week only, and then we'll be back to Thursdays. So then next Thursday is just going to be my normal Wednesday show as far as my Wednesday videos. So in any event, catch me live next week. And I'm going to start to wrap up things here and make a few little plugs here. I am going to give you guys a little bit of inside intel. You're going to be the first to hear this. Actually, I'm working with my good friend Emeka Osai over at Emeka Osai on YouTube. Emeka puts together a wonderful self-publishing channel. If you have not had the opportunity, please go over there, subscribe to his channel, click your notifications on. Emeka gives solid information. He's really, really good at what he does, and this guy is squeaky clean as it comes. So I can endorse just about anything and everything that he says. So get over to Emeka. But at any rate, I talked him into it. Don't know how I did it, but we are actually going to be doing a collaboration video together. We're going to actually be talking about newbie self-publishers and some of the things that they should be avoiding, because the two of us kind of were talking about newbie self-publishers and a lot of some of the common issues that we hear. And we thought, well, let's go ahead and see if we can be able to put our heads together and give a good video. So that's going to be coming over the next week or so. As a reminder, ATM, I like the ATM emoji there, dude. Let me see if I haven't missed anything. My thought is always to create a book that I would personally buy. Yes, agreed. Don't put garbage out on the market. If you're not going to buy it, then don't publish it. With more books coming in, the sweet spot is higher now from what I've seen. Yeah. All right, so at any rate, this is the order of things. Please, if you like this channel, please make sure that you subscribe, turn your notifications on so you get all my latest videos, and of course, sharing is caring. If you know at least one other DIY publisher, or if you're involved in a Facebook group or a Twitter thread of some sort, please do me a favor, share this video or any of the videos that you find very interesting. And of course, one of the best metrics is a thumbs up. And hey, if you didn't like it, hit that thumbs down. Either way, hit a thumb. Hit a thumb. Pick a side. I know you got a side that you could be able to do. And of course, leave some comments down below. Definitely would always love to hear what you guys have. I can't express enough appreciation and gratitude for every time that you guys leave a comment, because I do answer all of my comments. And yes, it's funny. I called somebody out on trolling my stuff. And hey, look, you trolls are adorable too. I'll respond to you, just, within reason, of course. So comment on the videos, of course. You can look forward to Sunday Unscripted every week, Monday Week in Review, where I'll give you guys a rundown of everything pertinent in self-publishing. Wait till you guys hear the news this next week. This stuff's going to singe your eyebrows, and it can probably make a huge, 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 huge difference in your business. So you're going to want to tune in to Week in Review this coming Monday. Tuesday is going to be my Top Tuesday, where I'm going to share you guys my top content. That's where I'm going to be pulling out all stops, and I'm going to give you guys the best of the best content. Wednesday is usually going to be Wildcard Wednesday, but this next week, you guys are going to join me for a live stream at 6 p.m. Come with your comments, and we're going to do bad book covers. Yes, everybody's favorite. So make sure that you tune in for bad book covers, and we're going to talk a little bit about book covers in general. We kind of covered it real briefly, but I think next week, we're going to take a look at some book covers. We're going to look at some good book covers, and we're going to look at a couple of bad book covers, and we're going to discover what is it that's good, what is bad. We're going to kind of talk about that amongst ourselves. So make sure you show up next Wednesday at 6 p.m. And then Thursdays, it's live stream typically, but I'm going to be having my wild card next week. Friday is going to be a self-publishing interview. Tomorrow is going to be special guest Dog Dad Scott J. Marshall II. You don't want to miss this one, especially if you find yourself kind of straddling the line of making a little money in self-publishing and nothing at all. Scott's going to help kind of pour a little bit of wisdom into you and hopefully put a little bit of motivation into you and understanding what you need to be doing to get your business going and in the right direction. And then Saturday, you're going to expect a product review. This Saturday's product review, good Lord. My days are starting to kind of blend together here, folks. So you stay tuned to this channel. I know that I do have a product coming up this Saturday, but it's slipping my mind. Oh, Reader's Favorite. That's it, Reader's Favorite. We're going to talk about Reader's Favorite, a very good channel to pick up a free review for your book. Is the review going to be good for you, or is it not going to be good for you? Let's go ahead and you guys tune in on Saturday at 6 p.m. So, in the meantime, thanks for tuning in. It's been Self-Publishing with Dale, and I'll catch you guys soon.